Hi, this video is a special St. Patrick's Day edition for the Caribou Mathematics Contest. I'm going to show the solution for the February 2015 Grade 9-10 contest, question 21, which also came up in the Grade 11-12 contest. Now the question is, A, B, C, and D are positive integers, with A being greater than B, being greater than C, being greater than D. Select an option if it either shows a mathematical expression with a value that is bigger than the value of the other four expressions, or select a true statement from the other two options. Alright, so now let's simplify this option E so that this expression looks more similar to the first four expressions. Alright. Okay, so we have A times C, so that's AC, and then we have plus B times D is BD. Okay, and now we have plus, and we have B minus C times A minus D. So we will have B times A is AB. Okay, and now we have B times negative D is minus BD. Then we have negative C times A is minus AC. Okay, and finally we have negative C times negative D is positive CD. Okay, so now we can see that we can cancel some terms. So we have AC and minus AC. Then we have BD and negative BD. Okay, so what we're left with is AB plus CD, and if we see option B, we can see, oh, A times B is AB plus C times D is CD. So we have AB plus CD, just like here shown in option E, AB plus CD. Okay, so now let's compare option A and option B. Well, for option A, we can see that there is AC plus B times D, and that is exactly the start of option E, which is A times C plus B times D, but the only difference is that E is this much bigger than option A. And we know that B must always be greater than C, and we know that A must always be greater than D, so therefore both these differences must always be positive, and therefore this must all be positive, so therefore option E and of course option B must always be greater than option A. So now let's compare option B and option C. So just like we did there, well, we will do option B minus option C. Okay. So option B, we have AB plus CD. And then we have minus AD minus BC. Okay, so let's see if we can factor this somehow. Alright, so here we see we have AB minus AD, so they both have A as a factor. Therefore we have B minus D in the brackets. And then we have plus And we have, what we have left is CD minus BC, so they both have C as a factor. And therefore we have D minus B. Okay, so now let's look at these two brackets. We have B minus D and D minus B. So now the only difference is that they are both the negative of one another. So for them to be equal, we have to change the signs in the brackets in front of each term and also the sign here in front. So instead of plus C, it will be minus C. And now we will have, instead of plus D, we will have minus D, and instead of minus B, plus B. So now the brackets are both the same, and here on the outside we have A minus C. Alright. So therefore we have A minus C in brackets times B minus D. Okay, so now we can see that option B is this much bigger than option C. Okay, and we know that A must always be greater than C, and we know that B must always be greater than D. So therefore this must always be positive, this must always be positive, so therefore that product must always be positive, and therefore B and also option E must always be greater than option C. Alright, so finally all we have to compare is option B and option D. So now here we can see that it is a product, and here it's just a sum of A, B, C, and D. Alright, well the only way that C plus D can be greater than C times D is if the smallest number, which here in this case would be D, if D were to be 1. Because this would be like 1 times C, which is C, and this would be like 1 plus C, which is, well, 1 bigger. But now even if we took the smallest possible numbers for these 4 letters, A, B, C, and D, A would have to be 4, B is 3, and we already know this is 2 and 1. So the product of 4 and 3 is 12, and the sum of 4 and 3 is only 7. So therefore the product is already 5 bigger than that sum, and we already know that that is bigger, that difference, is which is 5, must already be bigger than this difference between C times D and C plus D. So therefore option B and also option E must always be greater than option D. And now, since we proved this for any numerical value for A, B, C, and D, that means that it can't be option F, because we have enough information, we already proved it for all numerical values. So therefore the answer is option G. There is more than one other option with the largest value. And we know that is true because both B and E will always have the greatest value. If you'd like to know more about this contest, please feel free to visit our website at cariboutest.com.